Hi, welcome. This is Talk Tuesday, and you're in my Matter studio. I'm Susan Buchser-Lochocki, running for President of the United States with the Green Party. Welcome. Today, this first part of Talk Tuesday, I want to talk about rape and unwanted sexual behavior. And yeah, so I guess let's start by describing what is unwanted sexual behavior. So rape, penetration is certainly one of them. Attempted rape, masturbation in public, exposing yourself, peeping Tom, and voyeurism. And that goes in so physical form, in 3D or 4D or whatever you want to call it, and also via cameras and stuff. So these are all unwanted sexual behaviors that are going on currently, and I have my ideas of how to go about changing them, and perhaps other people have other ideas. But I'm gonna talk about my thoughts on what's going on and how to go about change. So first, I think part of it, I don't know if people are really aware that these things are going on. So I want to first talk about that. I mean, I already talked, I think it was 2 days ago, about the rape that happened to me when I was 9 years old. And then other things that have happened to me is attempted rape. I was doing laundry in my dorm at Parsons in New York, and Parsons had 2 floors in a YMCA in New York on the, west side in the 30s. And I was doing laundry, and suddenly this guy appeared and he tried to attack me. Now, luckily, I, got away, and I don't know where he was from or whatever. I didn't know what to do. I just wanted my laundry back. So eventually I had a friend come down with me then, and we got my laundry and everything was fine. But, not every attack ends like that. But that was really strange. So, I mean, I suppose also, I also want to say that this is, a lot of these things happen to not just me, but a lot of other women out there. Then I can't tell you how many times a man has masturbated in public in front of me, especially on, the subways and stuff in New York, park benches and things of that nature, all the way to recently here in Zurich. I was at a spa area at one of these pools, rooftop pools, and there were guys masturbating in the water on the jets that were there. So people exposing their private parts, I mean men exposing their private parts, that definitely happens. I even heard a story that here in Switzerland it happens out in the forest area where somebody I know had been horseback riding on a path, and somebody was exposing their, I guess, penis for her to see. So, and then in New York again, I just saw it countless times. And basically, when these things happen, it makes you uncomfortable. Usually, people try to find a lone woman somewhere to do this to. And in the most part, for some of it, like the masturbations or exposing, you can either laugh it off or you can get up and move. It's annoying that you have to be the one to change because somebody is having some sort of psychological problem and they feel the need to do this in front of you. So then there's voyeurism. And I saw this also often walking around the streets of New York, people looking into other people's windows, from hillsides looking into windows, and it was a little shocking how much that goes on. And then I suppose, however, with the internet, a lot of people are voyeurs now, and there's easy ways to watch all sorts of different nudity and sexual things, and then there's also hacking into people's cameras on their electronics and doing voyeurism and things like that way. So it's somehow a game even at this point, and it's not normal, and it should never be normal. We all need a little bit of privacy. Oh, and I also want to say, like, peeping toms and stuff with these, like, what's that place where you can rent people's apartments and stuff? The name's not coming to me now. I'll put that in the comments later. But yeah, when you rent out a apartment, you never know too what's going on there. So as a woman, the more these things happen, the stronger you get. That's all I can say. And it gets a bit annoying, and shocking. And after a while, you can't take it anymore. It just gets stupid. So it's clear to me that because these things happen, and they happen seemingly frequent, men are having troubles. You seem to have a sexual desire that is not being fulfilled. And what's happening is through, I'm going to say it, movies and videos and social media and, girly magazines and all this stuff, you're getting some strange ideas. And as a human being, I understand that men have a desire to have sex. And as a human being, I understand that women have a desire to have sex. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to have sex. But it has to be consensual. Both people have to be in agreement to have sex, and both people have to be old enough to know what they're saying, and both people have to be, even if they want to be naked in front of each other, you do not have the right to look at somebody naked if they did not give you permission, period. So, movies, videos, social media is making this feel normal, and it's not normal behavior, not at all. And yeah, I understand that men are attracted to women and maybe other men, and even women are attracted to men, and women are attracted to women, and these things probably also happen on the other side too, although I'm a woman, so I'm coming at it from the woman's point of view. But there might be also some women who are out there raping men and boys, I don't know. And doing like all the things that I just talked about, but on the other side. For me, there was a story last week about a guy who raped a 3-month-old baby. And that was really, I realized I have to have this talk now. It's enough, because that's just horrible, unimaginable. How could you, period? How could you? The child has multiple damage now. It's just, you just don't do that. So I understand that people get attracted to other people. Okay, and there's peer pressure sometimes to do certain acts. Whether it's in a game or a challenge or whatever, but you have to use common sense, all of you. It's just the items that I talked about at the beginning are just not normal. And if you have a friend who you think is susceptible to doing these things, you might want to advise them to go to therapy. And I think for some people too, there might be some cultural things and religion beliefs behind some of their actions, but it's time to think about it, as a serious thought. And then there's also people who are in long-term marriages where the sexual attraction between the married people is no longer there, which this does happen often. I'm not going to say always, but often. And then you're in a marriage, and you want to be faithful, but you also need to have a sexual encounter, because it's part of our human being to be. And then it gets misguided into strange places like raping a daughter or a son, or I don't know, things like that. So my understanding is that most men need to have sex or ejaculate about once every 3 days, although I'm sure that other men would like that a lot more, and other men might want that less. And that might also be true a little bit for women too. Certain women might want sex more than others. And so we need to keep that in mind, that it's perfectly normal and natural as an adult human being to want to have sex, and to also need to release that energy somewhere. So as I said before, we have a lot of things guiding us to these bad ideas. These technically we're misguided to ideas, and we need to stay focused on what is appropriate sex and appropriate love and appropriate encounters. Now, of course, the encounters are between two adults, and the two adults can decide together what is normal. But I'm going to say that as far as human rights go, it should be only so normal as to nobody is getting hurt. As soon as somebody starts getting hurt in a way that they were not planning on getting hurt, then it's gone too far. We all have our own bodies and our own rights to our bodies. So, oftentimes, I think, how can I put this? Okay, yeah. So I think one thing that would be good for people who might be confused with what is normal and what's not would be to ask yourself, would your mother approve of your behavior? So if you were to go and tell her the story of whatever you're saying, would she approve? Or if not your mother, let's say you have a person you admire near you that you would go and tell. And so the question is would they approve of your behavior? And if the answer is no, then you might want to think about what you want to do. So ways to go forward would be, I think, to build up a therapy for people, especially for men, so that their needs, your needs, can be met. And for me, that therapy would be sort of a prostitutional therapy. So making prostitution legal, first off, and then training prostitutes in mental health so that they can actually help you with your issues, whatever they might be. And if it's not really a mental thing, then maybe you just want to have sex, and that's also good. So for me, making prostitution legal means granting prostitutes vacation time, medical insurance, and giving them a pension. So it's a real job. And also with education involved. Now, I have not been educated, so I can't say exactly how to go about the therapies, but I think it's clear that with all the rapes and attempted rapes and the masturbations and the peeping toms and exposing things, I should also mention kidnapping in here too, because that's also part of this sort of, normally if there's a kidnapping, well, not normally, but often it leads to rape and sometimes death and stuff. So I think if people were offered this opportunity of therapy, I think we would have a lot more healthier people walking around the streets and not being so abusive with unwanted sexual behavior. So I could see having sort of like a spa environment where, you sort of go in and you might even get a certificate from or a prescription from your doctor that says you have the right to go and have sex for a certain amount of times, and so it's included in your health benefits, because we want healthy people. That's really what we want. And or you can just do it by yourself. You can you don't have to go through your doctor. You can also just go to the spa yourself and have your experience. But I think we need to change our thought process about prostitution, how it can be used, how it can help with a lot of the sexual abuse that goes on. And also we need to rethink a little bit marriage and how that might be. And since I got through all of that pretty quick, I think I might make the next video on marriage. So yeah, stay tuned. This is the end of part 1. Bye.